Hello. Today we will study the chapter 9 Thermal Properties of Matters. Here in this chapter we are going to cover the three major topics: thermometry, topic 2 is calorimetry, and topic 3 is the transfer of heat. So one by one we'll study all the topics separately. Firstly, the syllabus of this chapter is heat, temperature, thermal expansion of solid, liquid and gases, analogous expansion of one water specific heat capacity, calorimetry, change of the state specific latent heat capacity, heat transfer, conduction, convection, radiation, thermal conductivity, qualitative ideas of a black body radiation, Wien's displacement, law of Stephen's law. So these are the major, this is the syllabus which we are going to cover in this particular chapter. So let's move forward with the topic 1, which is thermometry. So here, firstly, we'll go through the terms which are related to this particular topic, which is heat, temperature, mercury thermometer, scale, Celsius scale or centigrade, Fahrenheit scale, etc. So firstly, heat. What is heat? Heat is a form of energy transferred between the two systems or the system at which surrounding medium by the virtue temperature difference. This is heat. Temperature. Temperature is the property of the body by which we know the other body in the thermal equilibrium with another given body. With respect to another given body, the thermal equilibrium of a particular body is temperature. Mercury thermometer. Thermometer in which the length of mercury thread is taken as a thermometric property is a mercury thermometer. Scales of mercury thermometer. There are two types of scales. One, which is the Celsius scale, or we say centigrade. Another is Fahrenheit scale. So the difference of the temperature are 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius, and the number of division between is 100. This is for the Celsius scale. Okay, 0 and 100. Fahrenheit scale, the reference temperature is between like 32 degree Fahrenheit and 212 Fahrenheit, and the number of division in between is 180. So this is the difference or the types of the two scales for the thermometer. Relation between the centigrade and the Fahrenheit scale is C by 5 is equals to F minus 32 by 9. Now the gas thermometer. Thermometer is in which the pressure or the volume of the given mass of an ideal gas is taken as a thermometric property. And this is gas thermometer. Platinum resistance thermometer. In this thermometer, the resistance of the platinum wire is taken as a thermometric property. So this is the platinum resistance thermometer. Now some important thing, this is ideal gas equation. Boyle's law. The volume V of a given mass of the gas constant temperature is inversely proportional to the pressure P. When any volume is inversely proportional to the pressure P, then the PV is equals to constant. This is what the Boyle's law means. Charles' law. At the constant pressure, the volume of the given mass is increased by 1 upon 273 or 273rd part of its volume. At 0 degrees Celsius for 1 degree Celsius, rise of temperature, then Vt is equals to V0 1 plus T upon 273. This is the mathematical expression for the Charles' law. Therefore, at a constant pressure, the volume of the given mass in the gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. So this is about the Charles' law. Now, whatever the topics we are going to cover here in the thermal properties of matter, heat, principle of calorimetry, type of solid, increase in dimension to increase in temperature, thermal expansion, mode of heat and temperature, thermal laws, thermal conductivity, what latent heat is specific heat, Newton's law of cooling, etc. So these are the major topics which we are going to cover in this particular chapter. Now, after the Charles' law, ideal gas equation. From the Boyle's law, V is inversely proportional to 1 upon T, and from the Charles' law, V is directly proportional to T. So jointly, V is directly proportional to T by P, or we can say PV is directly proportional to T, or we can say PV is equals to RT. We'll remove the proportional sign with the constant, which is R. Then for the 1 mole of gas, PV is equals to RT. So this is the ideal gas equation. Now at the absolute temperature, absolute zero temperature. Absolute zero is the temperature in which ideal gas at a constant pressure reaches the zero volume and any real gas actually condenses to the liquid or a liquid to the solid at some temperature higher than the absolute zero. So the absolute zero temperature is the temperature at which the thermodynamic system has the lowest energy, and it corresponds to the minus 273.15 degrees Celsius on the Celsius temperature scale, and minus of 459.67 degree Fahrenheit on the Fahrenheit temperature scale. So the conversion from Celsius scale is T is equals to minus of T degree Celsius plus 273.5.15, and the conversion for the Fahrenheit scale will be T is equals to T degree F plus 459.67 into 5 by 9. So this is the case for absolute zero temperature. Now the Kelvin scale. It is the temperature scale in which the reference temperature are 0 K and 373.15 K. If the number division is 100. This is the Kelvin scale. Now the triple point of a water. Triple point of the water is that temperature at which all the three states of water, which is solid, liquid and gas, or the solid, liquid and the vapor, are in equilibrium. This is triple point of water. Its value in the Kelvin scale is 273.16 Kelvin. Now the thermal expansion. Almost all substances, solid, liquid, gas, expand on heating and contract on the cooling. This is thermal expansion. Exception is water from the 0 degree to 4 degrees Celsius and the silver iodide from 80 degrees Celsius to 141 degrees Celsius contact on heating and expands on cooling. Now the thermal expansion of a thermal expansion of a solid. So firstly, coefficient for of a linear expansion and coefficient of a superficial expansion. Firstly, for the linear expansion, on the heating substance, the increase in the length delta L is proportional to the length L and the change in temperature delta T. It means delta L is directly proportional to L, its original length, and the change in temperatures delta T. So this will be alpha is equals to delta L upon L delta T. So which is equals to the coefficient of linear expansion, and unit will be per degree Celsius. This is for the linear expansion. Now for the superficial expansion, on heating that it is substance, the increase in the area of delta E is proportional to the original area A, and the change in the temperature would be delta T, it's same. Then delta A is directly proportional to A delta. Here it was with respect to length, and here it is with respect to area. So here beta will be equals to delta A upon A delta T. This is coefficient of superficial expansion. Unit will be remain same per degree Celsius. Now the coefficient of the volume expansion. So again for the volume expansion, it will be like gamma is equals to delta V upon delta T. And unit is per degree Celsius. Relation between alpha, beta and the gamma. So beta is equals to 2 alpha and gamma is equals to 3 alpha. So the ratio of alpha, beta and the gamma for all the three coefficient, it will be 1:2:3. So this is all about for the different three conditions. Now the thermal expansion of liquid. This that is for the solid. Now it's for the liquid. Coefficient of real expansion. The real increase in the volume of the liquid per unit original volume per unit degree in rise temperature is called coefficient of real expansion, which is gamma is equals to delta VR upon V delta T, which is equals to coefficient of real expansion, or unit is per degree Celsius. For the apparent one, the amount of apparent increase in volume of the liquid per unit volume per degree Celsius per degree rise in temperature is called coefficient of apparent expansion. So this is the equation. Now the relation between both of them, it will be gamma for both the real expansion and for the apparent expansion. This will be the sum of both, where gamma G is the coefficient of volume expansion of a vessel. Now analogous expansion of the water for the coefficient of volume expansion at constant pressure and for the coefficient expansion at the constant volume. Again with two different conditions. Now at the temperature K, now firstly the water contracting the volume of heating, it's from 0 degree to 4 degrees Celsius. So we have 4 degree, the volume expand normally and hence the density of the water increasing on the heating, it's 0 degree to 4 degrees Celsius. So density of the water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius and it is equals to 1 gram centimeter cube. And the density Fi is than the density of water. So the thermal expansion of the gas. Firstly, for expansion at a constant pressure, it will be at the constant pressure, the increase of the temperature is 1 K. Rise temperature, its original volume is called the coefficient of volume expansion at the constant pressure, which is gamma P delta V upon V delta T, and the unit is per K. And the coefficient of the pressure expansion at the constant volume is at the constant volume, the pressure is 1 K, rise in the temperature original. So the gamma V is equals to delta P upon P into Vt. Now the relation between both of them will be which is equals to gamma P, gamma V is equals to 1 by T. Now the key formula and the key equations, like whatever we have started from those only, we'll get some equation and the formulas. So relation between the Celsius and the Fahrenheit is C by 5 F minus 32 by 9. Ideal case, Boyle's law is PV is equals to constant. For the Charles law, it is V upon T is equals to constant. So Vt is equals to V naught 1 plus T by 273. Combination of the Charles and the Boyle's law is Pb upon T is equals to constant. So Pv is equals to RT. Relation between the Celsius and the Fahrenheit scale with the Kelvin scale. K is equals to C plus 273.15. Then K is equals to F plus 459.67 into 5 upon 9. Thermal expansion of the solid, coefficient of the linear expansion is alpha delta L upon L delta T. Then for the L dash, L 1 plus alpha delta T, where delta L is the change in length and delta T is the difference of temperature and is the initial length. L dash is the change of the length after the rise of temperature, and coefficient of the superficial expansion is beta delta A upon A delta T. And for the A dash, A is equals to 1 plus beta delta T. A delta A is the change in area, delta T is the difference in temperature, A is the initial and A dash is the change area after rise temperature. Third is coefficient of volume expansion, which is gamma delta V upon V delta T. Then V dash is equals to V 1 plus gamma delta T. So where delta V is the change in volume and the delta T is the difference of temperature. V is the initial volume and V dash is the change in volume after the rise of temperature. So the relation between alpha, beta and the gamma is alpha ratio beta and then gamma is 1 ratio 2 ratio 3. Thermal expansion of the liquid is coefficient of the real expansion, which is gamma delta VR upon V delta T. So where delta VR is the real increase of volume and V is the initial volume and delta T is the temperature, rise of temperature. Coefficient of apparent expansion is gamma alpha is equals to delta V A and then V delta T, where delta V is the apparent increase, V is the initial volume and delta T is the rise temperature. Relation between them is delta R A and then G, where G is the coefficient of volume expansion of the vessel. The variation of the density of a liquid temperature is rho dash, rho 1 plus gamma delta T. Rho is the initial density of the liquid and rho dash is the density of the liquid after the rise of temperature. Rho, this gamma is the coefficient of the volume expansion and the delta T is the rise of temperature. Coefficient of volume expansion at the constant pressure is gamma P is equals to delta V upon V delta T, which is equals to 1 by T. Same for the coefficient of expression for the volume, delta V gamma V is equals to delta P upon P delta T is equals to 1 by T. So these are the key formulas and the equations. Now let's move forward with some 1 marks question. The temperature of the temperature determines the direction of the net change of cross potential energy, intermolecular potential, gross kinetic or intermolecular kinetic energy. So temperature determines the direction of net of change of intermolecular kinetic energy. Gas thermometer are more sensitive than the liquid thermometer as the gases have a large coefficient of expansion. That's why it is more risky or sensitive, we can say. Now, metallic disc has a hole in it. And does the size of the hole change when the disc is heated? So yes, it will change. Now let's move forward with the 2 marks question. The difference between the length of a copper rod and the steel rod is claimed to be the constant at the temperature. Is this possible? If yes, then under what condition? So firstly, yes, it is possible. How? Let's prove it. So firstly, Ls be the length of steel rod, Lcu be the length of copper rod, alpha S be the coefficient of the linear expansion of steel, and another for the copper or expansion of copper, Cu. So the increase in the length of the steel rod for the temperature difference is delta T, delta Ls, which is alpha S, Ls and the delta T. So the increase in the length of copper rod for the temperature difference is delta T, delta ICU is equals to alpha Cu and then ICU and then delta T. So we arrange this, we just keep the copper thing one side and the silver steel thing one side. So here we get the ratio between both of them is alpha S ratio alpha Cu, which is the coefficient of linear expansion of steel, and another one is for the copper. If the condition is maintained, then the difference between the length of copper rod and the steel rod will be the constant and all the temperature. Here the condition is in the equilibrium state, then obviously this will be constant at all temperatures. So yes, it is possible. Now, the two identical rectangular strip of the copper and the steel are riveted and together to form a bimetallic strip. What will happen on heating? So, coefficient of the linear expansion of the copper wire is more than the steel. So, this is for the copper wire before heating, and when we heat it, it will be like this in the little curvy shape. So, with the heating of the copper strip, with the will expand more than the steel. It will get spanned, and the bimetallic strip will bend into an arc, and with the copper strip of the convex and the steel strip on the concave side. So this will be the condition. Now the brass scale of the barometer of a barometer gives the correct reading at the 0 degree Celsius. The barometer reads 75 centimeter at 27 degrees Celsius. What is the correct atmospheric pressure at 27 degrees Celsius? The coefficient of linear expansion alpha of the brass is 2.0 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 C inverse. So the length is L0, which is equals to 0 degrees Celsius. Now alpha of a brass, the coefficient of friction of the linear expansion for the brass is 2.0 into 10 raised to the power. Linear expansion is 2.0 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. So the change in temperature is delta T, which is equals to 27 degree. Then the length at the 27 degree Celsius is L27, L0, 1 plus alpha delta T. So we substitute the values and here we get L27 at this particular 27 degrees Celsius of temperature. The coefficient of the linear expansion will be 75.0405 centimeters. So the correct atmospheric pressure will be like this 75.0405. Now the volume of the thin brass vessel of the solid brass cube at the both equals to 1 liter exactly. What will be the new volume when heated through the 25 degrees Celsius? And alpha for the brass is given linear expansion. So 1 liter is equals to 1000 centimeter cube. For the sphere and the cube, V is equals to V naught 1 plus 1 plus gamma delta T. We substitute the values, we'll expand it, then we get 1000, 1 plus 3 into 10 is 1.9 into 10 is to the power minus 5 into 25. When we solve this, we get the final volume V is equals to 1,425 centimeter its cube. This will be the final volume. Now, another one is glass of the vessel is 256 centimeters is filled with the mercury. How much the mercury will overflow when the temperature stays by the 100 degrees Celsius? 4 into, so the glass expansion is given and the mercury is also given. You just write the value. That increase of the volume of the glass vessel is delta V gamma V naught and then delta T. Delta V is equals to 3 alpha V naught delta T. So 3 into alpha glass into 256 into 80. When we solve it, we get the volume. So the increase in volume that we have to find, that will be delta V, gamma, V naught, and then delta T. So we substitute all the values. So for the mercury, we get the value of mercury is 3.6864 centimeter its cube. And over amount of the mercuries will just minus both the value of the volume. So we get overflow amount of energy is 3.44064 centimeter cube. So this was the 2 marks question. Now let's go ahead with the 3 marks question. Explain the meaning of the coefficient of linear superficial beta, volume B, and expansion of the alpha, beta, gamma. All will have to explain, and the relation among them. So this is something which we have already studied, but yes, let's repeat it again. Coefficient of the linear expansion on heating a solid substance of the increased length is proportional, like this, delta L is proportional to L delta T. Then delta L is equals to alpha L delta T. Then alpha is equals to delta L upon L delta T. So this will be the coefficient of the linear expansion with respect to length. For the superficial, it will be with respect to area A. And for the volume, it will be with respect to delta B. We get the value of delta alpha, beta, and then gamma. Now when we talk about the relation between the alpha and beta, so let us consider the square lamina whose side is 1 centimeter and its area is like this. So alpha is a coefficient of linear expansion and beta is the coefficient of superficial expansion. So the rise of temperature is only 1 degree. With the diagram as well, it has been explained. So after the rise of temperature, each side will be 1 plus alpha. And area will be 1 plus alpha and its whole square. So increase will be 1 plus alpha, its whole square, minus 1 is equals to 2 alpha. So beta is equals to delta A upon A delta T. So beta is equals to 2 alpha upon 1 into 1. So beta will be equals to 2 alpha. So this will be the relation between alpha and beta. Then relation between the alpha and a gamma. So let us consider each side is 1 centimeter and the volume is 1 centimeter cube. So we know that alpha is the coefficient of linear expansion and gamma is the coefficient of volume expansion. For the each side, it will be 1 plus alpha and another one is 1 plus alpha and its whole cube. So increase in volume will be 1 plus alpha, its whole cube, minus 1 and is equals to 3a. Then neglecting the alpha cube and the alpha square terms which are too small. So gamma is equals to delta B. V by T, so gamma is equals to 3 alpha 1 into 1. So gamma is equals to 3 alpha. Then the ratio between all of them will be 1 ratio 2 ratio 3. So firstly, we have determined the ratio for the gamma and alpha, and then before that beta and the alpha, and and the last we get the ratio for all the three. Alpha, beta and gamma is 1 ratio 2 ratio and 3. Then discuss the anomalous expansion of the water. And second is discuss the variation of density with the temperature, with the liquid of temperature. So firstly, the expansion of the water is an abnormal property of the water by which it expands and decreases from the 4 degree to 0 degree and its density reduces. So this is for the case 1. Second, the variation of the density liquid temperature. So variation of the density liquid temperature, when the given mass of the body is heated, its volume that increases. And according to the density decreases, V naught is the volume of the liquid temperature, V is the volume of liquid at the temperature, then T plus delta T, gamma, its coefficient of the volume expansion, then V is equals to V naught, 1 plus V naught and the gamma delta T, this is the equation 1. Rho naught is the density of the liquid at the temperature T, rho is the density of the liquid at temperature T plus delta T. So as M is the mass of the liquid, so rho naught is equals to M upon V naught. Rho will be equals to M upon V. And we substitute the value of V and V in this equation 1. When we substitute, we get the value of rho is equals to rho naught 1 plus gamma delta T and its inverse. So expanding the binomial theorem and neglecting the terms containing high power of the delta T, rho will be equals to rho naught 1 minus gamma delta T. This will be the value of rho. Now, a steel sphere is to be passed through the circular brass ring at a 20 degrees Celsius. The outer diameter of the sphere is 25 centimeter and inner diameter of the ring is 24.9 centimeter. Both are heated together. Find the temperature at which the sphere will just pass through the ring Given alpha steel is equals to 1.2 into 10 raised to the power 5 minus 5, and for the brass has been given. So at the temperature, the inner diameter of the ring will be equals to the outer diameter of the sphere. At that temperature, steel will be equals to Al brass. Then for the formula, L is equals to L naught 1 plus alpha delta T. We'll substitute the value different for the steel and the brass. As both are equals, we substitute all the values here in this way, and here we get the value of temperature delta T is equals to 505. As initial temperature has been also given 20 degree, so we get 505 plus 20, it means 525 degrees Celsius. This will be the temperature. Now, let's move forward with the 5 marks question. Define the thermal expansion in the solid. Write the scale of the measurement of temperature. Obtain the relation between the Celsius, Kelvin and the Fahrenheit. So, thermal expansion of the solid. Thermal expansion is a tendency of the solid changes its shape, area and the volume in response to the change in temperature. When the solid is heated, the kinetic energy of the molecule increases. So thus the molecule begins vibrating, moving more usually and maintaining the greater average separation. The relative change of the dimension is proportional to the change in temperature. So this is the thermal expansion of a solid. Now the different scale of the measurement temperature. Firstly, there are three temperature scale: Fahrenheit, Celsius and then Kelvin. So firstly, Fahrenheit scale is based on the 32 degrees Celsius for the freezing point of water is 212 degree Fahrenheit. For the boiling point of the water interval and between the two being divided into the 180 parts. And Celsius is the centigrade temperature scale based on the 0 degree Celsius of the freezing point is 1000 degree for the boiling point of water. The interval between the two wings divided by the 100 parts. So the Kelvin temperature scale for the freezing at the 0 degrees Celsius and the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius, which is correspond to the 273 degree. This is just for the Kelvin scale. And another is 373.15 respectively. So the interval between these two is dividing by the 100 part. So these are the different scale on the measurement of the temperature: Fahrenheit, Celsius and Kelvin. Now the relation. In Fahrenheit scale, there are 212 degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 degree Fahrenheit, which is equals to 180 degree Fahrenheit. It means between the freezing point of the boiling point of the water, in the Celsius case, it will be 100 minus 0. So it will be equals to 100 degree. For the Kelvin, it is 373 minus 15 minus 273.15. So it will be 100. So this is the relation for all. This is the relation for all the three scales. This result, C minus lower field temperature, you see water boils, water freezes, absolute 0. The different temperature recorded for the Fahrenheit, degree Celsius and the Kelvin. And these are the results. So this is all about the scales in the measurement. Now the define thermal expansion of the liquid and explain brief, real and the apparent expansion and obtain the relation between. This relation will have to obtain. So thermal expansion of the liquid, the liquid expand as it heated. So the heat increases as the kinetic energy of the molecule in the liquid. So they move faster on the average and tend to move further apart from the collide and bump around. This results in the expansion of liquid. The liquid has a only volume expansion. Liquid is always taken in a vessel for heating. The vessel is also expand along with the liquid. Due to the expansion of vessel, the observed that expansion of the liquid slightly less than the real expansion. So the liquid has the real expansion to the apparent expansion. So this is all about the expansion theory of the liquid. Now the relation between the real and the apparent expansion. So this has been explained by the diagram. A glass of bulb with a long graduated steam is filled with the liquid and the mark A. The bulb, this A, and the liquid is heated with the observed in the upper level of the liquid comes down from the position A to the position B. After that moves to from B to C reach to C, and the reason is that when heat is applied to the volume, the bulb increases at the first, and due to which the case of the liquid from B to A. Later on, this soon as the liquid gets heated, volume increases from B to C, from A to B, then B to C. So from B to C, it will be the real expansion, and from A to C, it will be the apparent one. C to A is the apparent, and C to B is the real expansion. AB is the volume expansion of the container and AB is overall volume. So from the figure, it is clear that CB is equals to CB plus AB. Then real expansion of the apparent expansion of the container is delta VR. Then it is equals to delta V alpha plus delta Vg. So if delta VR is the coefficient of the real expansion liquid. So the coefficient of the apparent expansion in the liquid is gamma G, which is the coefficient of the volume expansion. So delta VR is equals to gamma R into V into delta T. So here we get the relation between all of them is gamma R is equals to gamma A plus gamma G. So this is the relation we have proved. Now, so let's move with the last one. Explain the anomalous expansion of the water. Draw the graph for the volume and the density of the water with the temperature. Explain one application of a maximum density of water at a 4 degrees Celsius. So, firstly, the expansion of water is in an abnormal state of the water. It expands instead of a contracting. When the temperature decreases from 4 degree to 0 degree, it becomes the less dense. So the density of the maximum at 4 degrees Celsius and decreases below the temperature. Here this graph is representing. It is just between the volume and the temperature. And another one has been drawn with the respect to the density and the temperature. So application for the maximum density of water at a 4 degrees Celsius in the cold area, those situated and near to the poles, the temperature of the water and the pond lakes means to be the starting falling and goes to down to the 4 degrees Celsius in the first phase in winter season. When the temperature of the water on the surface falls below to the 4 degrees Celsius, it expands and thus being lighter. So it does not sink down. Thus the temperature of the water in the surface water cools down at the 0 degrees Celsius. So below the forming ice and remain at upper layer, but the temperature of the ice remains denser at the 4 degrees Celsius. Thus the aquatic animal remains alive there. This is the reason. So this is all about the topic 1. Stay tuned for the topic 2. Thank you. Thanks for watching.